Greetings dear viewers and welcome back to the Farmasia VR project documentary. Now with twice as much content and twice as many bugs. A lot has changed since the last episode. But some things remain the same. Our client is the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Helsinki. And the purpose of our project is to create a VR game they can use to teach working in a laboratory. In an as realistic environment as possible. Instead of just reading books. The project started back in 2018, and when we got to it, the game had 3 sections: changing room, membrane filtration, and medicine preparation, plus a tutorial. The project, being old, has grown and evolved over time as features have been added to it. Our job was to get the game to support multiple VR headsets and to improve the existing gameplay experience. Our client's wish was to get the game to a state where it could be played independently and reliably. We decided to go with refactoring the whole existing game to use Unity's XR library. With this, the gameplay experience got more consistent and made the game compatible with multiple headsets. For example, the Oculus Quest. And will keep supporting new hardware in the future. In addition to refactoring, which was difficult, we continued work on a new laboratory safety part. During Sprint 3 and 4, slow but steady progress was made in membrane filtration, but we had little to show for it. This in turn caused the team to feel like the work on the project was endless and the game would never achieve its goals. Vast majority of work was put into getting a single piece of equipment reworked. The medicine pump. It was a lot of sweat and tears, but it finally got finished in the late 4th sprint. In more pleasant news, we managed to create a mostly working hose for the fire extinguisher. We also tried to make progress towards the ambitious feature of spreading fire. But slowly its estimated size grew from medium to large, and to even larger than your. So naturally, we decided to abandon it for now. In the 4th sprint we got a brilliant opportunity to visit
Varjo
headquarters and get to learn more about their equipment and demos. Luckily in sprints 5 and 6 progress skyrocketed and the light started shining at the end of the tunnel. We got membrane filtration to a state in sprint 5 where the player could fully play the scenario from start to finish with enough skill and a bit of good luck. During Sprint 6 the membrane filtration scenario was polished to a state where most of the bugs stopping the player from progressing in the game were found and fixed. Tasks, points, and progress tracker were added to the fire safety scenario. The player can now explore the laboratory trying to find the correct fire equipment and visit a tutorial section where the player is taught how to use a fire extinguisher. Remember the fire spreading feature we abandoned after Sprint 3? Well, some of us just couldn't let it go, so we got it working during the last weekend of Sprint 6. Although it is not yet used in any of the game scenarios, it can now be used for future scenarios. Was the sacrifice of X hours worth it? We'll see. In the final sprint a lot of playtesting was done and many small bugs were found and some were fixed from the game. Such as various combinations of writing working incorrectly, items not being counted correctly when put inside the laminar cabinet, and the player getting stuck if medicine was measured incorrectly. Tutorial rooms for the emergency shower and fire blanket were created and the player progress is now saved when the player moves between tutorials. We also created a tutorial to teach the player about the controls. So hopefully there won't be a need to micromanage the player when watching them play. We reached a point where the changing room and membrane filtration parts are playable through somewhat reliably. These are the parts that our client most wants to use when teaching, so they were prioritized. The new fire safety scene is also usable already, says the client. Some of our teammates disagree. Mostly because it has no spreading fire. We still have a lot of polishing and testing to do, and the medicine preparation scene is a complete mess. Luckily our client has promised us study credits if we keep working on the project over the summer, and most of us want to since we have gotten addicted. We aim to leave this project for the next software engineering project group in a state where it would be easy for them to continue the work. In any case, the game is now at a playable state and those who are interested in playtesting can try it out after this event. If anything breaks, it is just the demo effect. This project has been a great adventure of every emotion possible, from shock to sadness to negotiation, all the way to acceptance and happiness. We have learned a lot from dealing with legacy code, which is not usually common in study projects. We have also learned from our own mistakes. For example, we finally changed backlogs from the monster to a version that actually helps our work instead of adding to it, and is prettier, which is very important. We might have also learned to direct our focus in priority order, ask for help, and sometimes even drop things that turn out to be too difficult. Our team spirit has remained high, keeping at a steady grade of 4.85 in our retro polls. We have also had a good atmosphere, where we help each other, ask questions and discuss openly. And most importantly, laugh a lot. We have found joking and peer support helpful when facing difficulties. One thing is for certain: the world will hear from Farmasia VR again in the future. And of the spreading fire,